right, man. Let's talk about Devin Haney and Lewis Crocker. Apparently, Dev wanted to do Lewis Crocker and Devin Haney to um, um, they wanted to do Lewis. They wanted to get the Lewis Crocker. Lewis Crocker was it's the IBF title holder of the welterweight division. Somehow he got the belt after Jerron Ennis got out of there. And it sounds like he wants to fight. Devin wants to fight, but it sounds like Eddie Hearn is now, trying to look another way for the fight. All right. But it says Lewis Crocker, Devin Haney unification is ideal next fight. He said, ideally, I'd like to fight Devin Haney's neck for a unified title. That's the biggest fight in the division. Crocker told the Zone. There are plenty of options, but if you ask me, that's the fight I want next. Okay. Those options could include a clash with Conor Benn. He said that's an entertaining fight for the fans, but he's the mandatory for WBC. Crocker said the idea. If I still have my title, which I will, then that's a great fight to make for the future. So for the most part, you're starting to hear, basically they want to push him in another direction. That could be, there was another name that was thrown in there with him. I'm guessing it could probably be a guy that's probably on Metron, Richardson Hitchens. It could be, who knows? Brian Norman Jr. Let's see who all in the division. It could be, Barrios. Well, not Barrios, obviously. So, but for the most part, the thing is they're trying to block Dev. They're trying to block Dev. Eddie Hearn is pretty much saying that without Turki Alalshikh, they're not going to do the fight. And from what we understand, Dev got a 3-fight deal with Turki Alalshikh. And pretty much the word is Eddie's trying to block the fight. And I was hearing rumors that, or talks of, I was hearing talks that that they could actually fight in the UK. Excuse me. So yeah, they actually can fight in the UK. So if that's the case, that's the case. If they do it, they do it. It's a smart thing for Dev. Dev probably trying to collect belts at this point. The one thing is Rolly, and I'm gonna talk about Rolly in another video. But then again, a little bit of searching of the internet didn't take long. Then now they're saying that Eddie Hearn or Devin or Keyshawn Davis versus Lewis Crocker fight via Belfast online. Unless Turki Alalshikh turns around and makes that fight, who's going to pay the money that those guys want and need for a fight? Because it doesn't generate it. If we can make Devin Haney fight, or if we can make a big fight with Keyshawn, whoever it's going to be, we'll look at it. But right now, we've got to make a defense. So basically, he's saying that maybe he has a mandatory that's being ordered. I don't know if that's the case, if they have a mandatory or not. But who gonna put the money up? It don't generate money. How did this last fight generate money? And I'm guessing from his perspective, it's probably pretty much by playing Keyshawn or Devin. So for the most part, he probably like, hey, Turki got to come put the bag up, and rightfully so. If right now, it don't seem like Keyshawn is affiliated with Top Rank right now. Top Rank don't have a major TV network. They knew that ESPN contract was going to be up for some time now. They've been to it, and they still can't get one a couple years later. So, for the most part, it's probably a wrap on Top Rank. It's probably a wrap. So with Top Rank probably being out the game, Keyshawn is probably now affiliated with Turki. Now, the thing about it is Keyshawn saying, hey, man, I'm looking to get one big fight. I'm looking to do one big fight with at 140 with Jermaine Ortiz, and then I'm looking to go all the way up to 100, and I'm looking to go up to 147 pounds. So if that's the case, will Turki Alalshikh just say, hey, let Keyshawn get a belt? Since I'm pretty much doing Keyshawn career, let me turn around and not only allow Keyshawn to get a belt, let me make sure Devin keep his belt. Then we turn around and do a unification bout. Because remember, he was talking about he wanted Benavidez and Devin Haney to come back like in February. So maybe they just make a quick defense of the title. Maybe Devin get in there with the now number one contender for the WBO, which is Jack Catterall. Maybe he get in there with Jack Catterall, you see right there. And, you know, what don't sound like Benavidez ain't coming back till, Cinco de Mayo. And I don't know if Eddie Hearn got nothing to do with that. I'm not Eddie Hearn, but Oscar De La Hoya. I don't know if he got something to do with that. So I don't know if he has something to do with that. But, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, that's going to be interesting. So I don't know if he got something to do with that, but at the end of the day, Dev may just come back and maybe make a defense versus, Jack Catterall. And then maybe Lewis Crocker, down the road. But it's just too much of all this shit down the road. Everybody want to milk having a title. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like people having a title. Having all these different titles around. Everybody got a title. Because everybody want to milk it. Everybody want to milk their title. And then Eddie Hearn, who gonna put the money in? Obviously, if Devin got a deal, and maybe he don't know Devin's inner workings with Turki, I feel like obviously if Devin got a deal, there you have it right then and there. Turki probably will put the money, and maybe Turki won't. Maybe it is in the foregone conclusion that Turki put that money up. Maybe it is in a foregone conclusion. But it's going to be interesting. But if for Lewis Crocker, we got a lot of guys in this division that it turned real mushy real quick, didn't it? It turned real mushy real quick in this division. It looked strong at one point, and now you got you got old Pacquiao, you got weak ass Ben, you got weak ass Ryan Garcia. I'm gonna talk about Rolly in the next video I cut. It's a lot of weaklings in there. It's a lot of weaklings. So, but for Dev, the system is always gonna block you, especially when you black. You gotta just know that it's gonna be obstacles. People don't really understand. You can have a bunch of money, man. You have a bunch of money as the black person or as a person in general, and still not have power, still not have the autonomy to do what you want to do. And I think people don't really understand that. But for Dev, it's just gonna be politics. I think they want the biggest and the best fight. And if Turki put 3 fights, 36 million behind them, they want the biggest and the best fights. I don't think. Catterall, maybe I don't really think he fit that profile. But if he bankrolling boxing, these dudes should have to get in where they fit in at. So if it's, Devin and Conor Ben, these dudes just they have too many choices. Ever been in Cheesecake Factory and they got this big ass menu? It's like the menu is ridiculous. Sometimes if you don't know what you want, if you're dealing with you going out to eat with some people that don't know what they like to eat, man, it's gonna be difficult. And that's boxing. It's you have all these different options, but I don't want to do this. I do this. I do that. I do that. And ultimately, sometimes being able to have a fork in the road is the best way to do it. Either going this way or that way. You give people 20, 30 different options. A lot of times they don't accomplish anything of their goals. Not too many people gonna just sign up to go through the hard route. Terrence didn't sign up for it. He had to go through it. He had no other choice. A lot of these dudes got too many opportunities. Look at Gary Russell. Gary Russell Jr., he had, he could have did anything coming out the Olympics. He had all these opportunities. He was, flying high, thinking he was the shit. Look at my wrist. Damn. Look at my. And guess what? He really absolutely didn't accomplish half of what people thought he was going to accomplish. Demetrius Andrade, the same way. Sometimes going that tough route early on is the best way, because it's the right way. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the link tree, find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, the whole nine. Check out the Boxing Rumor playlist. Peace.